Today we're making Cracker Barrel's meatloaf at home. Hello, my name is Carrie with eatingonadime.com, and today's recipe is a Copycat Recipe. It's a restaurant favorite that we're going to show you how easy it is to make at home, which means you're going to save a ton of money because it's so much cheaper to make at home than going out to eat. Now, Cracker Barrel Meatloaf, this recipe has gone viral several times on our site. It's super popular and people are loving it, and I think you're going to love it too. Now, you can find the full recipe linked in the description below. Plus, down in the description, you're going to find everything we use in this video. So if there's anything that you're needing or loving, we link those as well. Plus, we're going to also link our Copycat cookbook. We have a digital Copycat cookbook that's loaded with Copycat recipes, and right now we have it on sale for you right now, linked below. First thing, let's get our veggies ready. We need a green bell pepper and a half of a white onion, and we need them finely chopped. I'm cheating today and using my food chopper. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm obsessed with this. I have two different kinds and I love them both. Don't think you need two. I just got two because we use them so much when we're cooking. It's always nice to have another one that's clean. I'm using the smallest setting, so there's two little grates, one's smaller and one's bigger. And let me show you how fast this is. So for a bell pepper, I just kind of cut up all the four sides. Well, I guess it's a round, but I cut it into four sides. You can scrape out the little white parts if you want to. I'm not going to do that today. We are just going to lay them in there and push it down. See how fast that was? Beautifully finely diced, evenly diced bell pepper. We're going to do the same thing with the onion. So I'm going to cut the ends off of the white onion, and then we're going to cut it in half. Okay. Well, trying to get that little peel off. Then we're going to cut the onion into quarters, and then you place that point straight down onto the food chopper and then push it straight through, and you will have perfectly diced onions quickly and tear-free as well. Now we're going to set this aside, and we need some Ritz crackers, 1.5 sleeves or about 45 crackers ish. Just gives you a good number. That's kind of a secret ingredient in this meatloaf, is not the breadcrumbs. It's using Ritz crackers, which tastes amazing. And they're just these little round crackers. I know we have several followers, not in the United States, that might not know what Ritz crackers are. Sometimes they're called something else. I'm going to place them in a baggie and crush them up. You can use a food processor if you want to. Either one, but these crush up so easily. I'm just going to use my meat tenderizer and just get all my frustrations out and just throw it in there, right? And just pound it to death. So I need to get about half of this sleeve and throw it in there as well. You're just going to seal the bag. I like to leave some air in it when I'm chopping it, beating it up. And then I kind of just use the smooth side so it doesn't bust the bag, because these are so easy to chop up. Get out some aggression. And we want to chop these up into like a fine, almost like breadcrumbs. Maybe that was too much. Now we have this beautiful breadcrumb mixture that is now Ritz crackers. We're going to set this aside, and then it's time to combine everything to make our meatloaf. We need 3 eggs. Crack them in a large bowl. There's a sink over there, so don't panic. I am not throwing eggs into the abyss, but that would be funny if I was just throwing them onto the floor. And we're going to whisk these together. It's important to do this first because, well, it won't incorporate and mix all together if you don't do that. If you've ever made a meatloaf before, you know that the eggs is kind of the binding agent that keeps everything together, so it's important. Get that nice and whisked together. Then we need some cheddar cheese. Cheddar cheese, hand shredded. You can buy the pre-shredded. Just don't tell me about it, okay, friends? If you've been following for a while, you know Number one, it's a great way to save money by shredding your own cheese, but also it melts more evenly. It tastes better. So we just need about a half a cup. So I'm just gonna loosely measure this. In my mind, you can never have too much cheese, but not everybody agrees with me. And then we're gonna throw this in to the bowl with those peppers that we already finely chopped up. You could also, like, if you have really picky kids and this just might irritate them, you can throw these in a food processor instead of chopping them up and just like pulverize them to like a pulp. And that way it just looks like seasoning in your meatloaf and kids won't get upset. Trust me, I've got picky kids, I feel you. Now we're gonna throw in those Ritz crackers. What's so great, if you go to the actual recipe on eatingonadime.com, we go into a lot of detail on tips and tricks just like that we don't really have time to go into on YouTube. So make sure you visit it on the site. Now it's time to add in a half a cup of milk, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. Then stir it together until it's all combined and coated in the egg milk mixture. Yes, I always have a cute puppy sitting underneath, hoping, because he knows I will give him a bite of something at some point, he or she. They alternate, whoever is in the mood and who's too tired. Now we're gonna add our 2 pounds of lean ground beef. Highly recommend you go with lean on this. And toss this into the bowl. Now, it's about time to get messy and you can get your hands involved. I'm gonna start off without getting my hands involved, but I'm gonna have to accept reality that I'm gonna have to get my hands dirty. I've given in. It's time to remove the rings and get in there and get dirty. We want to get this nice and incorporated and combined, just like if you were making meatballs or, well, meatloaf, because that's exactly what we're making. But we don't want any of this goodness to be left on the outside. Now you need a baking sheet. I have lined it with parchment paper. You can also do foil, and we're just going to plop this right on. You're probably used to making a meatloaf in a pan, like a bread pan, loaf pan. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. But we are not going to do that today. We're doing it right on top of the sheet. Once we get all of this out, then you're going to take your hands and you're going to shape it into the form of a loaf. Okay, just the way I plopped it on there, it's kind of crooked. I'm okay with that. And we're just going to make it into a nice loaf shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. Meatloaf is not supposed to be perfect. It's just supposed to be good. Got my hands washed, rings back on, and now we're gonna head to the oven. 350 degrees, it's already preheated, and we're gonna cook it for 30 minutes. While we wait for the meatloaf to be cooking, let's get the topping ready. Now, Cracker Barrel Meatloaf is not just boring barbecue sauce or ketchup. It's actually some special ingredients that are really easy to make. We're gonna start off with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Then we need about a teaspoon of yellow mustard. Give it a quick shake, because you know how mustard does. Not like Dijon, just yellow plain mustard. See, these are ingredients you already have on hand. Then we need about a half a cup of ketchup. Give it a quick shake. And that's it. Measure this out. Then we're just going to whisk this together. 3 ingredients. Best tasting sauce to put on a meatloaf you've ever had. We're not just going to slather ketchup. We've got this brown sugar and that mustard together. It's not quite like a barbecue sauce, but it gives you that extra sweetness that you need in a meatloaf. So mix this aside. I'm going to let this sit. Do a quick test. So good. We're going to set this aside until that meatloaf is done cooking. Okay, the 30 minutes went off. It's not done yet. Now we're going to add on our topping that we made. So I'm just going to take a spatula and just pour it right on top. Get it all that goodness out of there. And then I'm just going to spread it out on top of it. Then we're gonna head back into the oven for another 30 minutes. So it's going in the oven. We are going to cook it for 30 to 40 minutes. We're gonna actually use a meat thermometer to check the inside of it. So we will come back in about 30 minutes to check it. It's been cooking, the timer went off. So now I'm gonna take my digital meat thermometer, stick it in the middle, and we're gonna see, oh, I have it on hold, sorry. We wanted about 160 in the middle, so we're not quite there. So we're gonna let this cook for a few more minutes and check it again. Okay, we're gonna check again. It's looking really good. Stab it in the middle. And we wanna get it to 160 degrees. We are almost there. A few more minutes and then it'll be done. So I already checked it and we've reached the internal temperature. So we're gonna pull this out and we're gonna let it set for about 10 minutes before we serve. It's very important that you let it rest, because if you cut into it, all the juices are just gonna come oozing out and you're gonna have dry meatloaf. So let it sit for a little bit. Now I just kind of took my knife and ran along the edges and just got all the juicy stuff that kind of made it look a little bit uglier. You can transfer this to a really pretty serving plate, but nobody's gonna do that if you're just eating at home, right? You're just gonna serve it right off of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. Oh, before, let me show you my knife. It has the serrated edges, the bumpy parts. Then we're just gonna cut it. Ooh, look at that. It looks good. So you're gonna cut it into slices and then you're ready to enjoy. Now it's ready to serve. Now you're going to see in our comments, somebody had commented saying that they've seen similar recipes where you had to saute the onions and the bell peppers. I do not think that's necessary. You are cooking this for an hour. These are super tender. And again, like here, let's just try it out. Yeah. That's so good. Dare I say the best meatloaf I've ever had? All the vegetables are super tender, so don't waste your time sauteing it. I just don't think you need to. But if you don't like seeing the bigger pieces, go ahead and just put them in your food processor so they're nice and small. But the flavor is unreal, so don't leave them out. But yeah, follow our recipe. We're gonna make everything the most flavorful, but the most delicious without spending a lot of time or a lot of money doing it. This meatloaf is so juicy, it is not dried out, and the little special sauce on top is way better than just smothering it with ketchup. You are gonna love it, guys. I'm obsessed with it, and if you need me, I'll be off eating this. So, okay, for your next dinner, make our Copycat meatloaf. I think you're gonna love it, friends. When you do, please leave a review and a comment, just like the person who commented about, should I be frying up these onions and bell peppers? We love hearing from you and we love telling you why we don't do something or why we do something. So make sure you leave a review and a comment on the recipe. I love hearing from you, friends. Okay, we are out of here. Thanks so much for joining me. Remember, grab that full recipe, link in the description, and our Copycat digital cookbook. Don't forget, it's on sale, and we have a ton more Copycat recipes for you guys to try. Okay, have a great time. I will see you next time in my kitchen. But in the meantime, don't forget to eat at home by eating on a dime. Bye, friends.